Welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Carrie Hawker-Diaz.
And I'm Brooke Mangum. Thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody just take a breath, right? How often do we forget to do that for ourselves? I know I am very, very guilty of that. In this chaotic world, I tend to match the chaos around me instead of being that anchor. When you know things are getting crazy, I'm like, our pets' heads are falling off.
Honestly, when you just said take a breath, when I did that, my shoulders lowered about 6 inches.
And what a small thing that you could do every single day. And that is what our guest Katie is all about, is tapping in and finding that breath, that moment within ourselves.
It's so funny too, because when we think of our breath, we're like, yeah, we're breathing. Of course, I'm alive, I'm breathing, but it's just different when you stop and you focus on your breath. And even if you can just do 5 minutes, and in this episode, we do a little breath session. So if you can listen through, it's so nice because I feel like I felt immediately better after it. It's crazy how it changes you.
Well, and it can be just something as breathing or something like that. I think a lot of times we hear meditation and we go woo woo, it's just kind of like you get out your cushion, it's going to get weird. No, it's not like that. And anybody can meditate, right? Just taking that moment and breathing. And it's so important for us as human beings, especially with how chaotic the world is and these phones that are constantly going off, is just to be able to take a moment and just be okay with the silence.
It's so true. And if you can do it for yourself, great. If you can't, maybe do it for other people, because you'll be a better person to everybody else. Do it for your kids
1,000%
and your family and your coworkers and the people in your life, because, and do it for yourself. You deserve it. So should we be able to listen?
Let's go.
Okay, are you tired of feeling tired? Yes, absolutely. Today we are diving into the topic of burnout, what it is, how it affects our lives, and the subtle signs that often go unnoticed. Katie, founder of the Women's Meditation Network, is here to share how we can beat that burnout, things we can do to help us calm and bring that peace. Katie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. Okay, I'm just going to start with, if people, we're familiar with the term, I think, burnout, but let's talk about what it is and why it is so bad.
Yeah. So, burnout is just the immense feeling of overwhelm. You're feeling fried, too many things on your shoulders, overworked, overstimulated, overwhelmed. And just like a car engine, for example, if we are driving it way too long without giving it gas, it's going to break down. It's going to completely blow out. And that is the point of burnout.
Okay. How can it affect our actual lives?
Well, this is what it looks like when burnout arrives in our lives. And these are really important things because we don't often associate these things with burnout, but they are absolutely things that every single one of us experience. Example, perhaps you're being a little bit snippy to the people that you love, your spouse, your kids, your friends, you're short-tempered. Perhaps you just feel exhausted. Bone tired is a word that I hear from a lot of people. I am bone tired. You feel like you can't catch up on sleep. You can't catch up on rest. And you are dropping subtly, either quickly or slowly. You're dropping the foundational routines and things in your life that sort of keep you propped up and keep you sane. Subtly over time, you are just letting those go by the wayside. So these are things that come out where we are feeling enormous amounts of anxiety. We're stressing about the things that, we're worrying about in the future, where, our brains are constantly moving on the hamster wheel of thoughts. And you just feel so far away from peace. So this is how it shows up in life. And it can be really frustrating because we can start giving it names like, oh, we're just so overwhelmed. Oh, we're just, there's too much going on in life right now. It's a heavy season. There's this big work thing going on. And we tell ourselves that once this is done, once this season is over, everything will be fine. But if we can recognize these moments as signs of burnout, we can actually immediately take action to really calm ourselves down.
It's so true. We always say that to ourselves, like, once I just get through this week, once I just get through this month, once I get through this time, then what? Then it's gonna come up again. So I like that. So those are the subtle and early signs of burnout that we're missing. So that's like being short with people that you were mentioning, and like being really, really, like you said, bone tired. Those are the early signs, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. We got to look out for those. It's definitely big signs. How can recognizing these signs early on make a difference in preventing that total breakdown coming up?
Yeah. So before we go diving off of the cliff that inevitably comes with burnout,
Yeah.
and, oftentimes, by the way, that can be incredibly detrimental. So many of us have already been there. We've done that. We know what that is like, where we have to take days off of our work. We have to take days off of our family lives. Like we just have to stop because there's no other option. We have to completely sleep for a day if we can, some way, somehow. But before you get to those intense, necessary solutions, we can sprinkle in really great ways to be able to deal with it little by little and to recalibrate ourselves and come back to a space of calm, come back to a space of peace. So one of the things that we can do, obviously, I'm a big believer in meditation. We have, tons of meditations across our network. And I am someone who really firmly believes in the power of the tool of meditation to not only calm down, but to really get to know ourselves. And so if we use this tool, which oftentimes can be really overwhelming and very intimidating. So one thing I really love giving people as a practical tip is to practice mini meditations. So instead of thinking meditation needs to be this hour-long thing with incense burning and, sitting on your meditation pillow and just another thing to check off the list for the day,
Yeah.
incorporate mini meditations into your day. So, for example, after you drop off kids and you're heading home, before you walk into your house, take a second and just take 5 deep breaths. When you're on the computer and you're working on something and you can feel your mind kind of like starting to go, step outside, go take a walk, be out, get some sun, let the air be around you, and just concentrate on your breath, concentrate on what's around you. When you're in the shower, instead of thinking of all the to-do things that you have on your list for the day, just concentrate on the sensations of the water hitting your body. Now, what all of these things do, what all of these mindful moments do is they take us out of those the obsession and the clinginess that we have with all of these thoughts, and they bring us back into the present moment. And the power of that is that it immediately calms our nervous system. It forces us to slow down, and it recenters us into ourselves so we can sort of recalibrate, come back to center, and then come back to that work, and then go approach our day with a new level of peace. Another thing that we could do is, I mentioned the breath before, diving into that a little deeper, using the breath. I love giving people the idea of taking 5 deep breaths, like 5 conscious breaths, literally counting, breathing in is 1, breathing out is 1, breathing in is 2, breathing out is 2. And you'd be surprised how quickly you can get sidetracked, and that's okay. That's completely normal. But being able to use the breath to calm ourselves down is really, really good. And the last tip that I have to sprinkle into your days, so that you can really avoid that giant big burnout moment, is to make sure you are allowing yourself plenty of time to be in nature. I sort of mentioned this before, but I really want to highlight it because when you're outside, when your feet are in the grass, or at least when you're
Yes.
walking outside, there's sun on you, there's trees around you, there's birds singing. Like inevitably what happens for me is, number one, I'm getting more oxygen, right? So there's a very, very real physiological reaction to that. But secondly, I'm sort of simultaneously reminded of how small I am in this giant universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it really allows me to put things in perspective. So those are a couple of ways that you can just use immediately right now. Step outside, take a couple deep breaths, use these mini moments, mini meditations all throughout your day so that you're not letting all of this stuff build up to that burnout moment.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Even just you talking about all of that has, like, I feel like my blood pressure just went low, like
Yes.
it lowered. I just felt better of you talking about that. You know what, for everyone listening right now, if you're at home, if you are maybe driving, be a little careful, obviously, but can we do that together, Katie? Maybe like a 5 breath thing, like you said. Can you take us through kind of what that looks like? Let's do it together.
Absolutely. So if you're in a place where you can, go ahead and close your eyes. If you're not, don't worry about closing your eyes. You could still follow along. And just for one moment, go ahead and just bring your hand to your heart. Just this physical sensation of conscious awareness of your skin touching skin. And then allow yourself to just focus on your breathing. You don't need to change it. You don't need to even take a deep breath yet. Just be aware of the breath. And when you found that rhythm, allow your mind to step away from all those thoughts and just focus on the counting. So when you breathe in, count 1. Breathe out, count 1. Breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2. Breathe in, 3. Breathe out, 3. Breathe in, 4. Breathe out, 4. And for our last breath, we're going to take a big, deep breath in. Breathe in, 5. Let your belly fill up like a balloon with air. And hold it for just a moment. And now exhale it all out till the very last drop of air is out. 5 simple breaths can bring you back to you.
Katie, I have
Can
to
bring
tell
you back
you
to calm.
immediately what I noticed. 2 things. I forgot about everything else going on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously you and I are chatting here, so I was very focused on that. But like, you have the background noise going on.
Yep.
I just listened to your voice. I focused on the present. And then also I noticed as like my first couple of breaths, it was a little harder to take like the big deep breaths. But then like as you went on, like by 3, 4, and 5, it was easier to do those big long breaths. Like it calms you. That's amazing. 5 breaths, what that can do.
5 breaths. That's it. And it's the just practice of doing it and letting it be imperfect, letting your mind wander and let that be okay, but continuing to come back and know the power of peace that's within the breath.
Totally. Okay. Why is it especially important to incorporate restorative practices into our routines? Like, especially maybe the beginning of the new year, a new season. How do these practices help us maintain that long-term balance?
Oh my goodness. So, meditation, awareness, mindfulness, like there's so many, facts out there about the physical benefits, right? The physical, you're lowering your heart rate. You are helping, your whole nervous system calm down. And equally, we know all of the stats out there about the, harm of stress and the disease that it actually can cause. So not only do we know that, and we know that we have this powerful tool available to us at all times to really shift away from the stress hormones, the anxiety, all that tightness, and come into physical health. On top of that, we have our mental health, our spiritual health, our entire holistic well-being relies on our ability to tap into this at any given moment. And the reason that is so important for longevity in, the sustainability of this is because all of us really want a good life, right? All of us want to enjoy our lives. We want to feel joy as much as we possibly can. And we want to be able to move through tough times in ways that, teach us something and sort of help carve us out and make us stronger. And we learn something from that. Like we all know we're going to have dark times, right? We all know that we're going to have upsets. We all know that stuff can happen. And it's our job to use these tools of mindfulness, of meditation, of self-awareness to be able to navigate that and ultimately live our most authentic lives. And that's really the value. That's the value of having these practices on a regular basis. Because, who wants to live lives that are scripted for us or scripted from a past version of ourselves? None of us do.
True.
So these tools help us become super aware of who we are and how we most authentically want to build the world that we're in. So
true. So good. Okay, Katie, how can people remain committed to these practices, even because we are all so busy? We have we have so much going on, so many responsibilities. When those things start piling up, how can we remain committed?
Yeah. So number one, I already mentioned is these mini moments of mindfulness, right? These mini meditations. You don't have to plan for these. They're just sort of in there. And I love using the prompt pretty frequently. Like, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? What do
Yep.
I need right now? And oftentimes it is like, oh, I'm super stressed. I need to calm down. Let me take 5 deep breaths, right?
Just check in, just to check
Yeah,
in.
just to check in. Another thing that we could do is use guided meditations. I'm a huge fan. Obviously, that's what I do in this world. I love creating guided meditations because we do the hard work for you. All you have to do is close your eyes, press play, and follow along. Like those breaths are so much easier to take when you have somebody guiding you through all
Yeah.
of that experience. So it's such an easy, low lift way to get huge benefits. And, another way is just being able to the journal, constantly ask yourself questions, journal things out, be able to sort of like take what's inside of you and see it on the pages in front of you so that you can sort of start having this practice as an easy one to really integrate into your life.
Sure, sure. Is there any other advice you have on our mental health and how it plays in preventing and recovering from burnout? And how can someone seek support if they're feeling super overwhelmed?
Yes. Obviously you can hear from everything I'm saying that I really believe the true value of meditation is a deep sense of self, a deep awareness of who we are, what we need at any given moment, and, what it is we want to do in this world. And so, I love giving people the advice of really using it as a way to ask yourself those questions, like, and really get to the heart of what your intuition is saying to you. Right. And so, if you feel like, wow, this is a particularly hard time, your intuition and your practice of meditation and mindfulness and self-awareness is going to allow you to say, I need help right now. I need extra help right now. I need this. I need that. I need to talk to a friend right now. I need to have a long conversation with this person. I need to go walk outside for like 4 hours right now. I need to take the day off and go do XYZ, or I need professional help. And so, rather than just tell people like, make sure you do X, Y, or Z, the advice I love giving is ask yourself and ask your intuition what you need at any given moment. And it will always tell you the truth. And it's your job to bravely act on that. So if your intuition is telling you like, I'm really low right now, I'm in a really dark place and I don't see how to get out. Okay, now who can help me around me, right? Like who are the helpers and how can I get access to them and what do I do? And you know what? Maybe you try therapy and you do it and it's great for like a month and then you're like, okay, I don't need that anymore. Like it is a constant moving through of what it is and what it is that your intuition is telling that you need to support your best life.
So true. And I think a lot of the time we think about like we don't want to burden people. We don't want if we're feeling like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so just needing a friend to talk to, but we don't want to like burden people.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how to like get out of that mindset? Because of course, people who love you want to help.
Yeah, they do. I am so guilty of that. I'm such a helper. I'm like the caregiver. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm the friend caregiver who like, I'm always watching out for other people. And it's just, I'll tell you this perfect example right now. I had a really good friend of mine die last week, suddenly 51 years old, left a wife and daughter who we are super close with, and it completely rocked our world, right?
I'm so sorry.
And so,
I'm so sorry.
thank you. And so last week when it all happened, my natural reaction was to take care of everyone, like feel the emotions. I wasn't sidestepping anything, but it was like, let me take care of my husband. That was one of his best friends. Let me take care of the wife. She's one of our good friends. Like, let me take care of everyone. And so this week, the emotions just hit me like a wave after that. And I was like, whoa, like I'm starting to feel the hugeness of this. And so this is the week that I've really looked inside and said, what do I need right now? I need to go a little slower in work. I need to lean on my friends a little bit more. I need to be able to talk this out with people. I need to be able to give value to what I'm feeling and lean on my trusted support circle in order to do that. Write a little bit more, like just allow myself to emote. So, it can be really hard to, especially for us caregivers and those of us who want to support everyone else, it can be really hard to give our own emotions and needs the value that they deserve. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we have to work through those things. We have to honor them. Otherwise, it's going to be all bottled up in here, and it's going to come out in disease and stress and a bunch of other ways. So, the ones who love us and are around us will listen to us ad nauseum because that's what we do for them. And they love us, and they love us, in all of our seasons. And I constantly have to remind myself that.
Good reminders. Thank you for that advice. Really good. How would you say people can set those realistic expectations for themselves in terms of achieving balance? Like, are we scheduling time on our phone for our meditation, just like we schedule our doctor appointments and our everything else we have going on? How do we set those realistic expectations?
This is such a good question. So first, it's actually to deconstruct the idea that we're trying to achieve anything. Like, this is not, some level of deep peace and calm or balance. Like, it's not a goal. Like, it's not a thing that we're striving towards. It exists here within us all the time. Peace is available to us all the time. So really what it is a letting go of this striving nature, which is completely, what our entire society is about. And so that's a really big paradigm to step out of. And instead, allow ourselves to visualize, like, just dancing with it, dancing with this idea of becoming more self-aware, a dance with this idea of wanting more access to that peace all the time. And if we're not feeling it, how do we do that? So the practical ways to do this are to lean into what works for you to develop habits, right? So if it works for you to put it on your calendar and say, hey, I'm going to spend 15 minutes in meditation every single day, no matter what that looks like, by the way, that could be a walk in nature. It could be sitting down, with your pet on your lap. Like, it could be whatever. It could be doing a guided meditation. But at least setting that time, it's a really great way to do it. It's not the only way. Another way is to understand that it's a journey and it's a relationship. Like, I can't tell you, I started meditating when I was like 19 years old. I've always been a very self-introspective person. And, I've gone through seasons of what that's looked like. Sometimes it's been like daily, regular at this time. And sometimes it's been more of like what I like to call a grab and go season. Like, I'll use it when I need it.
Yeah.
Because, this moment I need it. So there's this understanding and there's this trust in my relationship with meditation, with mindfulness, with all of these tools that allow me access to the peace that already lives inside of me. And I'm just willing to dance with it and know that it evolves over time. So nowadays I can access that quite quickly. I can hear my intuition very quickly, very distinctively. But it's taken a lot of practice over the years to get to know what that voice is, to get to know, like, oh my God, here's such an intense moment. What process have I gone through in order to remember that I can be peaceful at any moment? Years ago, that might have taken me weeks with an uncomfortable or anxiety-filled situation. Now it might take, maybe a couple hours. So like, it's an evolution, and it is just a constant practice that we are always embodying, always living. There's no striving for anything.
Good reminder. It's always there. It's always there. We just need to dance with it. That's really good. Katie, is there anything else that you wanted to mention that we haven't chatted about as we wrap up?
I love this conversation. I love that you're bringing this to your listeners. And I really do believe that this is such a powerful tool. The reason I do what I do is because I truly believe the power of meditation, mindfulness as a portal for self-awareness. And I am one who literally believes, like, if we all were living the most authentic versions of our lives, like, the entire world would change overnight.
Yeah.
So I love this conversation, and I would just encourage anyone who, is listening to this to take some time to get to know themselves, to take some time to question whether they need to be moving through this world in the way that they are, or whether it could actually be a lot more enjoyable and a lot more filled with joy and a lot more filled with peace. And if that's what is wanted, how do you do that? And those answers are always within.
Always within. Thank you so much, Katie. That was amazing. I feel so much calmer. Thank you for that guided meditation. Hopefully other people did it too, listening if you were able to, because I just feel so much better. It's amazing what 5 breaths can do. Okay, you've helped us. Now we want to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to do fresh 5 real quick. Are you ready? I'm
ready, girl. Let's do it.
Okay, number 1, your favorite meal. Like, what's your go-to favorite food?
Oh, right now I'm vegan, so it's a vegan lasagna recipe that is amazing.
Yum, yum. I love that. Okay, number 2, East Coast or West Coast? Where are you traveling? What do you prefer?
Ooh, oh my gosh, that's so hard.
And you can say both. You can say both.
I know. Let's say East Coast.
Okay, love it. Okay, number 3, movie or book? Which do you gravitate towards more?
Movie.
Movie. I love movies too. Number 4, camping or glamping? Are you a camper or are you a glamper?
In my early years, camping. Nowadays, glamping.
Amen, girl. Same. And last one, number 5, what makes you smile right now?
My kids laughing. I have 2 little daughters, and I love hearing them laugh.
Oh, it's the best. I smiled when you said that too. Oh, it's so good. Okay, well, where can we follow you for more information and just to feel better? Where can we go, Katie?
For 5 deep breaths.
Yes, follow along.
womensmeditationnetwork.com is our home. You will see easily and have access to all of our podcasts there. We have 20 different podcasts that are a part of the network.
Okay.
Or whatever podcast player you're listening to this on, you can just go search for Women's Meditation Network or Meditation for Women, and you will find us there. So just go press play on whatever calls your name.
Love it. Love it so much. Katie, thank you for your light in our lives. Thank you so much for chatting with me today and helping us all. I know you have. So it was great to chat with you. Appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you too. Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.